2, 1.
Hi everyone, it's Erkan Ali here with Jill Tiny and our extra special guest, David Liddle. Hi David, how are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, so we're kind of like, the setting up conversation was quite interesting because what I've noticed for me about you is we've not really spent that much time together. And really I get there's an established level of trust and respect, and I think we're open to doing something quite interesting today. So why don't you introduce yourself and say hi to the audience?
Hi, my name is David Liddle. It's really interesting to watching the pair of you. I'm not sure, are we coming out together or are we like in a line or how does that work?
We're being recorded exactly as you see it on the screen.
Perfect. Right. Relatively new to BeCollaboration. I think it's an interesting space. Met some really nice people. I think it's taken me a little bit of time to kind of get into it, shall we say? But no, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's great to have you there. I mean, I think you're getting more and more climatized to the space. I imagine was it an unusual space for you at the beginning?
A step outside my comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah. But you seem like you. Well, my experience with you is like you was happy to be there, but it was just a different to what you're maybe used to.
I firmly believe it's important to try new things. So yes.
And also, you've been introduced to it by your business partner, hadn't you, Gavin Perry?
Yeah.
And he was already sort of hook, line and sinker involved with the Essex group and was loving it. So I would imagine, even if you were sitting there going, this is a bit unusual and it doesn't feel quite, well, it's a bit strange, but I guess Gavin's endorsement would have gone some way towards you going, okay, I'll go for the next visit and I'll see what's going to come out of it. Because what we often talk about on BeCollaboration is left brain, right brain conversations. And quite often we find that the accountant or the person that is the detail-driven left brain person isn't that attuned to the BeCollaboration vibe, which is more right brain, creative, future thinking paradigm. So on paper, I would have put you into that little box of left brain, mathematical, financial, mortgage consultant. Would you say that's a fair assessment, or are you one of those people that kind of go, well, that's my day job, but actually this is what I'm really like?
A bit of both. I very much think if you saw my notebook, you'd see I'm very much box thinking. But that's also why I think it's important to do this separately, because I don't want to be sat and held in comparison to somebody else, because that doesn't really benefit me. If I'm working on a day-to-day basis, I do sit and draw my little diagrams and box it all, because that's the way I rationalize stuff in my head. It keeps everything as simple as it can be, which is the right way for me to deal with things. But I do still I do want to not be that pinstripe suit. It's a number of years since I put a pinstripe suit on, but that's not what I want to do on a daily basis.
No, I get
that's
it.
Not me. You know, that's.
And what would you say because you're relative? I mean, I think it's coming up to a year, isn't it? It's not been a year yet, has it?
Yeah, nearly.
No, that's what I thought. Yeah, February, March. So you're coming up to your first year. How would you say? It's been an eventful year for all of us. I think for you for many reasons. But I mean, how would you say that the learnings or the insights that have come from being part of the community, how are they finding their way into your life? Would you say?
I think the use of language is really important. I mean, I've learned the use of language from NLP and coaching courses anyway, and I think that has helped in delivery to clients. It's helped in charity stuff. The charity stuff's amazing because the use of the language just is incredible. People talk to each other in the volunteer space very much as they would a business, and they actually forget that people are giving their time up for free. And you can't necessarily talk to them in a business capacity. It's not like someone's your boss. So that makes a big difference. And I just say that the fact, for me, the fact that I'm even entertaining the use of different language and this kind of thing is a big step forward. So that's good.
I think language is one of those things that kind of presubscribes a certain formula and pattern that you've been conditioned into.
Well, you learn to play to a role, don't you?
Yeah. So
that's what occupation is.
Yeah. Well, just not just occupation, but in our culture, when we first started, we started talking about love and connection and authenticity and heartbeat, and people just like, what are you talking about? You know, it's like really, we did pitch a lot of people in the early days, just the idea of that, and they'd be like, okay, so how do we make money out of this?
What's your business?
And we're like, well, we just want to make the world a better place, you know, along with other things.
And apparently that's not enough for some people. they need more. They need to know all the ins and outs.
But also how you use language is a really interesting, and how you go into different cultures, even jargon, and go to different types of professions, and jargon's different and cultures are different. So what attracted you? Have you always been in the financial, since you started working, or how has money been part of your life? Was it that the mother and father were involved in finance, or, at what point did you kind of go, my life's about money, or did you never do that?
My life isn't about money.
No.
My life isn't about money. That's not me. I do.
Thank you for putting me straight.
No, but it's not. It's not. I'd be happier out in the countryside every day of the week. But having
is that your background? Is that where you grew up in the countryside, or you're townie?
No, I'm happier in the outdoors. I mean, I either have a suit on or I have t-shirt and shorts on. I don't have any other. Doesn't matter what the weather is. That's just me.
So in terms of finance, because I don't know that much about exactly what you do for a living. That's funny about BeColl, isn't it? You've been around 9 months. So I don't really know. I know it's money. So how would you describe what you do for a living right now?
I'm practice principal of a mortgage brokerage, which is basically mortgage and protection consultancy. So it's putting people into debt and managing their debt, and then making sure they properly protect it. And
is that what the business does as a whole, or is that what you're doing within the business?
That is the function of the mortgage brokerage, which I do on a daily basis. That's the primary function.
Right, for you and Gavin, that's what I mean.
No, for me, on a daily basis, that's that bit of the business is my responsibility.
Right, and how long? When did you first start in that industry or in that sector?
Probably about 10, 15 years ago.
All right, okay. And before that?
General financial services.
And have you always been a kind of independent, or did you ever work in big corporates, or did you come from banking?
I've always worked for small companies.
Yeah, so you've never been part of the big corporate world in that respect?
No, never worked for a bank, or never worked for one of the big insurance companies.
No, okay. And
good place to learn. But
no, I get it. But would you say where were you originated from? Because I kind of pick up a bit of an accent, but I'm not sure. You're not London, are you?
No,
That's sort of like me. Put it that way.
No.
Where's the origins?
Edinburgh till I was about 7. Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Oh. And then Maidenhead in Berkshire, so home counties.
Home counties, Edinburgh.
You sound West Country though, don't you?
Yeah.
Where's that from? No.
No.
You've just chosen to.
So was that your family moved down from Edinburgh, and that was as a child you came down, I imagine, or
yeah. At 7, I didn't have much choice. Family. My dad used to build pharmaceutical sites, and so he moved down to build a pharmaceutical building down in the south, and we moved down accordingly.
So they're Scottish.
Yeah.
And what do you remember of that? I mean, how did it change? Because one of the things that's really interesting about the JOP is kind of tracking the journey. How did that, because that's quite a big move. It wasn't, well, it is from Scotland to England, they're different countries. But how was that for 7-year-old David Liddle, that move, new school, new environment? Do you think that played a big part in your life, or was you kind of like,
nope,
Just
whatever?
get on with it.
At 7, you get on with it. Don't you? You're not in control. You're at that age. You're trusting somebody else to be in control. So no.
It's interesting how some people will go through something like that, and it turns into a traumatic experience that they think it shouldn't be. No, absolutely. But it depends on your outlook on life. If you're one of these shy, introverted children, then to move not only away from your family home, but then to move to a different school and then to a different area. All of a sudden it becomes so big that they become, let's say, this trauma that goes with it, and then they become the odd person at school. They're the one that's left out, la-di-da-di-da. but you've just kind of gone, yeah, it's life, you know.
Is that you in life?
I was just going to say
kind of
that,
like,
yeah.
is that you? I wouldn't have been that cool about it.
I've got a twin, so I think to have a buddy at that age, it's really funny watching you make notes.
Well, we didn't know you was a kid until about 10 seconds ago.
I want to know, identical or non-identical?
Oh no, Christ no. Oh, sorry. No, very different. Completely different. But I think if you've got somebody who is the same age as you in the same family, then you've got a buddy, haven't you? So going on holiday, I think, can be quite a lonely thing for a kid. But if you've got somebody else that you can go and do stuff with,
I've always said to my kids, from the age of 4, when you first start, or 3, when you first start play school, all you want them to do is find a friend, and you had your built-in friend you could take with you, so long as you got on with him. If you couldn't get on with him, it wasn't going to work quite so well. But So
is there kind of a special relationship with twins that you think people kind of have that perspective that there is? Would you say there was for you?
Yes and no.
Thank you for helping us out.
Expand.
That's very clear. Thank you.
You could be. It would be perfectly acceptable to be living daylights out of each other. But if somebody else tried to do it, that'd be absolutely unacceptable. So there's. It's all fair in love and war, shall we say?
So deep-rooted loyalty, and is that still the relationship you have with your brother?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Good mates.
And any other siblings in the house?
A younger sister.
She messed it all up, didn't she? She turned up and got all the attention. That's just me letting go from my past.
And you're not in the twin.
No.
That's the first twin, I think, in BeCollaboration, you know,
yeah,
as far as I know. I
can't
can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, I can't recall any.
So no, different twins are different. I mean, we've I've known lots of different twins over the years, and some are closer than others.
Some are.
The annoying thing growing up as a twin, some are closer than others. The most annoying thing growing up as a twin is when you get dressed in the same thing. Just, really?
I used to do that to my girls. They hated it.
Everything the same.
It's annoying. Yeah.
Really annoying.
We talk in BeCollaboration about the first point of collaboration is like from concept, from conception. And every idea that's conceived, but you're the ultimate collaboration from day one, really.
Yeah, the egg split, and there you were. Hello.
Yeah, let's collaborate.
Yeah,
we won't kill each other, but
well, my brother had twins recently, about 3, coming up for 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, March will be 3 years, and he had them late. So, and I can tell. I mean, I've got 2 daughters, but and I had them late, but they were split like by how many years, whatever it is, 5 years, or whatever it is, right? So, yeah, I can imagine twins are quite a handful. And what stories does your mum remind you of as kids growing up, or your dad?
Not really stuff that we would have done together. More silly things. It's more silly outdoorsy stuff, I would say.
So tell us about the outdoorsy stuff from grown-up David. You do a lot of Keep Fit, don't you?
I have done in the last couple of years, yeah.
So what bonkers things have you done that other people might go, really? Why would you want to do that?
I spent a lot of time paragliding when I was younger. I haven't done that for a while. I've done lots of fitness stuff just because I wanted to do it, really. I think primarily because somebody said I couldn't do it. So I went and did lots of them. And then went and did 100 kilometres twice. And I've got more of those this week. Dragging Gavin along to do one this year. That's going to be quite interesting.
Wow.
Don't kill him.
I'm not entirely sure he's thought that one through yet. But
sometimes you say yes.
Did he have a little glass of wine at the time?
You can imagine them two going like this. Because last time I saw you, we left you at the Christmas party, and you two had got, I think, the second bottle of wine lined up.
I was nothing to do with the ordering of it, but it did appear, yes.
It did appear.
And you helped to get rid of it.
It'd be rude not to.
When you say do 100 kilometres, are you talking swimming, cycling, mountain climbing?
Oh, running in one go.
In one go?
Yeah.
And is that like, do you do that over, what, how long? How long do you do 100 miles?
It depends on the terrain, but probably somewhere between 50